There is something you have been doing for as long as you can remember, proving yourself, earning your place, working for your worth, showing up, giving more, achieving higher, shrinking smaller, all in quiet service of one desperate hope that one day you will finally feel like enough. That feeling has a name. It's called low self-worth, and almost nobody talks about where it actually comes from. But here is what nobody ever told you. The feeling you are chasing, that feeling of being truly, unconditionally worthy, was never something you had to earn. It was something you were taught to forget. And today we are going to talk about why. Because understanding this changes everything. Let's start with where it began. Because you were not born feeling unworthy. No child comes into this world believing their value is conditional. Watch any child before the world gets to them. They ask for what they need without apology. They cry when they are hurt without explanation. They love themselves completely and without condition. And then the messaging starts, slowly, consistently, from sources that carried enormous authority over you: family, school, religion, culture, society. You received a very clear education in what determined your worth: your grades, your appearance, your obedience, your productivity, your ability to make others comfortable, your conformity to what was considered normal, acceptable, right. Worth became a score, and you learned to keep it. Here is where it gets really important. Because this is not just a psychological pattern, although it absolutely is that. This is something that actually happened to your brain. When a child consistently receives love and approval conditionally, only when they perform, achieve, conform, or comply, the brain does something remarkable. It builds a neural architecture around that condition. It literally wires itself to believe that worth is earned, not inherent, that love must be deserved, that the baseline state is not enough, and that enough is always one more achievement away. Psychologists call this external locus of worth. Your sense of value lives outside of you, in other people's approval, in achievement, in how useful you are to others. And because it lives outside of you, you can never fully own it. It can always be taken away. It has to be constantly re-earned. I spent years wondering why nothing external ever felt like enough. Understanding this was the moment I finally stopped wondering. This is exhausting in a way that goes bone deep. And if you have felt that particular exhaustion, the kind that sleep doesn't fix, this is likely part of why. I know that exhaustion personally. And for a long time, I had no idea what was actually causing it. But it goes even deeper than the mind. Because shame, the core feeling of being fundamentally flawed or unworthy, does not just live in your thoughts, it lives in your body. Research on shame and the nervous system shows that chronic shame activates the same threat response as physical danger. Your body does not distinguish between a lion in the wild and the feeling of being exposed as not enough. Both trigger the same cascade: cortisol flooding the system, the nervous system shifting into survival mode, the body preparing for threat. When this happens occasionally, it's manageable. When it happens chronically, when shame is the water you swim in, the body pays an enormous price. Chronic inflammation, immune suppression, digestive disruption, sleep dysregulation, fatigue that lives in the cells, not just the mind. Your body has been carrying this quietly for a very long time, and mine did too, long before I understood why. And here is something worth sitting with. If you have ever wondered why you feel physically exhausted, even when nothing dramatic is happening, this may be part of the answer. The body keeps the score of everything the mind has been taught to carry. Now here is the turn, and this is what I really want you to hear today. The worthiness you have been chasing your whole life, you were never without it. It was not taken from you. It was buried, under conditioning, under the weight of other people's limitations and fears, under what a religion decided God required of you, under what a culture decided your skin color meant about your value, under what society told you about who you were allowed to love, who you were allowed to be, how much space you were allowed to take up. None of those voices were speaking truth. They were speaking their own wounds, their own conditioning, their own inherited smallness, passed forward through generations of people who never did this work themselves. That realization didn't make it hurt less, but it did make it make sense. And sense was where my healing began. And underneath all of it, underneath every layer of not enough that was placed on you without your consent, you are still there, whole, worthy, unchanged by any of it. There is something in you that was never touched by what happened to you. Something that existed before the conditioning began and exists still beneath it. You do not have to earn your way back to it. You only have to remember it is there. I am still in that remembering, and I think most of us are. That is why we are here together. That is not a concept. That is the truth about who you actually are. So what does it look like to begin reconnecting with that truth? Here are 3 places to start. Notice the conditions you place on your own worth. For the next few days, simply pay attention to the sentences that begin with when I lose the weight, when I get the promotion, when I fix this about myself, when I am further along. Each one of those is a condition you have placed on your own worthiness. Write them down. See them clearly. You cannot release what you cannot see. Practice receiving without deflecting. The next time someone offers you a genuine compliment, do not minimize it. Do not deflect it. Do not immediately return it. Simply say thank you and let it land, just for a moment. This is harder than it sounds for someone whose nervous system has been wired to reject positive information about themselves. But every time you let something good in, you are building new evidence for a new truth. Say this to yourself, not as an affirmation, but as a returning. I am already enough. Not when, not if, already. You do not have to believe it completely yet. You only have to be willing to consider that it might be true. Willingness is where everything begins. The worth you have been searching for was never outside of you. It was always here, waiting beneath everything you were handed, waiting for you to stop long enough to remember. And if you are watching this, You have already started remembering. The fact that you are here matters more than you know. What is one condition you have placed on your own worth that you are ready to let go of today? Drop it in the comments below. Let's witness each other in this. If this resonated with you, I created something just for you. The Self-Love Spark, a free guide to help you build this foundation. You can find it in the description below. And if this feels like home, subscribe and keep going. Because there is something underneath this worthiness wound that has been actively working against you your entire life. And that is exactly what we are going to uncover next. Click on the video that just appeared on your screen. Take care of yourself. You deserve it.